John Denny, Cy Young Award candidate, 19-6. And the steady-going Scott McGregor, the canny southpaw with the impeccable control for the Birds of Baltimore. Game 1 coming up.
On a cool and cloudy night in Baltimore, temperature near 60 degrees, dry conditions right now, and a not uncommon sight, the World Series back in Baltimore for the 6th time since 1966. Hello again, everyone. I'm Al Michaels. Welcome to game number 1. Howard and Reggie talked about the individuals during the pregame show, so some thoughts now on the teams collectively. Every team has its ups and its downs. Baltimore had some problems this year, mainly with pitching. Jim Palmer and Mike Flanagan spent a lot of time on the disabled list. Dennis Martinez had a dreadful year, but Joe Altobelli was able to persevere, and all things considered, they had relatively clear sailing to the championship. Not so for the Philadelphia Phillies. How about this for adversity? If somebody told you, and you were a Philly fan in spring training, Pete Rose would wind up hitting 245. Joe Morgan would hit 230. In September, you would be platooning the cleanup hitters, and those two guys would have been in San Diego at the beginning of the year. The team would wind up batting 249. Steve Carlton would have a losing record, and the manager would be fired in midseason. If you were a Philly fan, you would figure you'd be lucky to finish 4th. But here they are, having won their division by 6, red hot in September, beat the Dodgers in 4, ready for game 1. On opening night, everybody gets a prediction. A free pick? I think Philadelphia. Not scientific by any stretch of the imagination. I just think it's their year. I'll take Philadelphia in 6. Certainly, when you talk about Howard Cosell, you are talking about a dissenting view, I assume.
Absolutely. You know, on the first night of Monday Night Baseball, I said I thought the Birds of Baltimore were the best team in all of baseball, and I still believe that, and I think they're going to win this World Series. But I don't think it's going to be easy. And one of the reasons I don't think it will be easy has already been touched upon by Reggie Jackson. And that's the designated hitter rule and the apparent absence of Kenny Singleton from the day-in, day-out lineup of the Birds. And with me, the man who knows Baltimore's team as well as any man alive, but without prejudice. How will the absence of Singleton affect this team?
Howard, it definitely has to hurt. Kenny Singleton was a player who got on base 4 times out of every time he went to the plate this year. And during the 1979 World Series, when I managed the Orioles, we certainly missed the bat of Lee May. However, I think if Cal Ripken Jr. and Eddie Murray can continue to produce offensively like they did throughout the course of the season, he won't be missed quite as much.
All right. How about the designated hitter rule? Doesn't this very situation bespeak the fact that once and for all the two leagues must get together and either keep it together or throw it out?
It definitely does, Howard. And I'll tell you something. I think that day is a lot closer than a lot of people think. However, Joe Altobelli has said he's going with 3 starters. That gives him Storm Davis and Jim Palmer as extra long relievers, along with Sammy Stewart and Dennis Martinez. With Kenny Singleton sitting on a bench and able to hit from either side of the plate, Joe, if he falls behind early in the game, can start pinch hitting early and make use of his bench. And we know that's going to help the Orioles.
Now, you've already met this great man. He is, of course, Earl Weaver, who'll be working with Al and me throughout this series. And as we've already established, one of the greatest managers of all time. We are apparently about to begin the introductions of the players, and that will be done for you by the man who pitched a no-hitter in 48 in the old Polo Grounds, Rex Barney.
It is time to meet the participants in the 1983 World Series.
1974, the ballad, "Thank God I'm a Country Boy," has become a trademark of the Orioles' 7th inning stretch. Tonight, as we honor America, we match that familiar voice with the face. Here to sing our national anthem is Mr. John Denver.
See by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Side of the Baltimore dugout. At the invitation of the Orioles, the ceremonial first pitch for the first World Series game will be thrown by Commissioner Bowie Kuhn. Accompanying Mr. Kuhn is Orioles owner, Mr. Edward Bennett Williams. The first ball plays.
Giles, the president of the Phillies, the son of the late Warren Giles. And I must say, briskly paced game, your analysis so far holding together.
Well, right now, Howard, you see real good pitching. You see the ball clubs not making any mistakes. A couple of guys have hit the ball good. Matthews and, of course, Schmidt has hit the ball good. But McGregor is keeping the ball away from him, using the big part of the ballpark.
Speedy, president of the National League.
Yep. Come on, John. Oh, he's still got the old spirit. Dartmouth College. And there is the departing commissioner.
John Denver, his rendition of Country Boy, which is what they normally play on the PA system here in the 7th inning. It is such a popular song that earlier this year they decided to play another record. As you watch what went on here just moments ago. Well, we started to say they changed the tune in the 7th inning earlier this season, and they booed the other record right out of here.
The fans really love it, and they have a good time.
It's a lovely scene.
Work when it's good, thank God I'm a country boy. When the work's all done and the sun sets low, pull out the
So John Denver, who sang the national anthem, singing to the crowd as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Philadelphia 1, Baltimore 1. Again, the scoring, Dwyer a home run in the drizzly night. It's been played in a steady drizzle here in Baltimore. All right, let's go to Howard Cosell.
It's our honor, our privilege to have with us the President of the United States. Mr. President, I think this game is living up to everything one would expect from a World Series.
It certainly is. I haven't seen one as tight as this that I can remember, at least for a long time, or even remember one that has been 7 hits and 2 of them have been home runs.
I remember you're telling the story of one you called off the teletype.
You mean the one where I called the game that wasn't going on?
That's right, sir.
Yes, it was the 9th inning, Cubs and Cards, 0-0 and nothing. And the wire went dead. I was doing a telegraphic report. Billy Jurgis at the plate. So I decided that maybe I'd take a chance, and I had him foul one, and then I had him foul another one, then I had him foul one. It was almost a home run, and then I described the two kids that got one that he fouled back a third. Well, I went on till I was setting a world record for foul balls. And they did finally get the wire fixed while I still had him at the plate, and the first word that came into me was that he popped out on the first ball pitched.
Most exciting game I've ever heard. How do you see this, sir?
Well, this is a great ball game and a great pitcher's duel that is going on out there.
How do you maintain your neutrality?
It ain't easy. But I realize I can't have favorites anymore.
Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us.
Well,
Howard, indeed.
Well, my pleasure. Good to be here.
Enjoy the rest of it, sir.
All right.
And now we'll go back to Al.